the controversial call at the plate, originally called out, but then upon review, safe.
It was funny. You were saying to me during a break that a lot of people on Twitter talking about the dripping irony of the fact that the Dodgers are bailed out by the Buster Posey rule and their rivals from the Giants. It's just new baseball. Do I like it? No. I used to love plays. When growing up, I played catcher. I looked for those plays of impact. I liked bringing the damage to the runner.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, some concussions later and some testimony from Mike Matheny and realizing he's forgotten, you know, points a whole days at a time. And you got to protect your players, especially with all the money invested. And it was no wonder that Buster Posey, such a high-priced player, that was the impetus for the rule change. I don't love it, and that's where you get a gray area, the interpretation of that rule. Where does the ball bring the catcher? Does the catcher fully block the plate with his leg, with his body? Does he leave a lane? It's all very gray, and we're figuring it out as we go. It was this umpiring crew's interpretation that Wilson did not leave a lane for Culberson to slide into. I disagree. I think when you see on the replay here, Ray, you see the throw from left field. It's right on the money. It's a bang-bang play. There's not a real lot of time. It's not like the ball beat him and he way ahead of time without the ball blocked. I thought he left the lane in between his legs. That's just how you're brought up to catch. And you see there with the wide stance, there is a spot for him to either... Now, Culberson doesn't have to try to go with his hand. He can go directly between Contreras' legs with his own foot and go feet first with the slide. There was a lane for Culberson to hit the plate, and that's where I disagree with this umpiring crew's interpretation of this fairly new rule. It is tough, though. It's where you leave it up to human opinion. And in this case, they awarded the Dodgers the run. I find it very tough to justify and to swallow from a catching standpoint. How do you make that play? What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to completely matador and leave the plate wide open and only try to come in? It really gives such a clear advantage to the runner at that point that I don't agree with, but it's pretty bang-bang. And in this case, it goes the way of the Dodgers. I think Joe Madden has a point. Pretty interesting reference to compare it to the Chicago soda tax out there in L.A. All the writers probably like, what does that mean? I don't follow.
Which we've been following it. At least I have anyway.
Google it.
It's a penny an ounce. Yeah, you have to Google it and take a look. Yeah, certainly a wild play at the plate. I think we're so accustomed to things in super slow-mo that the human reaction in a blink of an eye, it's really remarkable to try to pick it apart like that. When you see it in regular speed, it looks like a great... It's really what they teach.
It is.
It's a textbook way.
And we're part of a generation that learned it that way.
Yeah.
10 years from now, maybe kids will they'll learn to catch a little differently. But for right now, we're dealing with kids that learn to catch a little differently and are having to adjust on the fly in the big leagues.